Hello, everyone, and welcome to Culture Shock, the show where no one knows anything about Joe Biden's policies. Yet everyone wants to vote for him because Orange Man bad. I am your host today, Will at Heroic Studios, and today, guys, it is Monday. You know what that means? A lot of crazy shit is happening on planet Earth, mainly in the good old US of A, and I think I might have started a really big Twitter fire today. I mean, I do have a knack of starting these kinds of things on Twitter, but I mean, it's not to the level of this one. This one is I have to impress myself with this one because this one is of sheer and utter just insane magnitude. And I hope you guys get a kick out of it as much as I have today. But before we get started, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. If you are new, if you are returning, make sure you just finally hit the button. Just hit it. I see my analytics. I see it. 30% of you are subscribers. The other 70% of you are just scrolling through seeing this video. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Give your boy a like. I'm good for it. Trust me, I'm good for it. All right. So getting into things, this is going to be a little bit different. Still as much of a culture shock to me as it is to everyone else because no one on the liberal left, on the radical left, can have a conversation anymore. All right. So I'm on Twitter, just minding my business, doing things, and I see a cool little post from our commander-in-chief to discuss something. And I saw it, and I just had to sort of kind of throw in my gauntlet to kind of get people to maybe answer this question because I've been asking it for so long and no one has been able to give me a straight answer. So, tweet goes like this from Donald J. Trump. My visits last week to Texas and Florida had massive numbers of cheering people gathered along the roads and highways. Thousands and thousands, even bigger by far than the crowds of 2016. Saw no Biden supporters, and yet some in fake news said it was an equal number. Sad. Now, you got to understand, if you see Donald Trump tweet, if you go into the comments, you need to mentally prepare yourself because you're going to see some wild shit. Like, the number of people who hate this man, who are just waiting on a whim for this dude to tweet. They jump in there like fucking kids jumping into a pool. You do know that Donald Trump does not read any of these tweets. You gotta know that. He's not reading them. And it's usually the same people that will show up in the thread. I'm like, do you people have anything better to do? You know this dude is not reading the tweets. He's not. If he is, he's probably going through them, laughing at them, not replying. You guys hate this dude so much, but you just wait for this dude to tweet on a dime. This dude can tweet, and then 5 seconds later, there's thousands, maybe not thousands, hundreds of tweets of how much animosity other people have for this dude. And I'm like, you guys don't have anything better to do. Honestly, nothing better to do but to tweet at a guy who's not going to read it that you hate so much. I don't know. If I hate someone so much, I normally don't interact with them, especially on social media. That's just common sense to me. 100% common sense to me, all right? So anyways, I made the mistake of commenting on Twitter. But usually when I comment on Donald Trump's tweets, there's nothing really going on there. I mean, it just sort of hangs out there. But this tweet actually ruffled the feathers of the radical left, and it has been just so funny to watch. I don't even know if it's radical left. Might just be people on the left, maybe moderates. I don't really know. It could be other conservatives. Who knows? I have no idea. This is what I said. Does anyone know any of Biden's policy? Sorry. This is what I said. Does anyone know any of Biden's policies? LOL. Seriously, this is my 5th time asking this, and yet no one can give me an answer. Okay. Pretty straightforward question, right? Pretty straightforward. I mean, there's no me hiding the book here. This is me asking an honest, down-to-earth question because I have not heard any of Joe Biden's policies. All right, like, beyond me. Boy, would you believe the backlash and the crazy people that I've gotten from this tweet. When this screenshot was took, I was at 135 comments. I'm pretty sure it's well over 150, maybe 160 right now. And it's all in echo chamber. So this is the basic comeback that most people who hate Trump have. Why don't you Google it? Don't you think if I could Google it, I would? Yes, I would Google it. Sure, for sure. Like, the easiest thing to do is to Google it, of course. But this is supposed to be your guy. This is supposed to be the man that's going to unseat Donald Trump. This is the guy that you're voting for. And you mean to tell me that you can, off the top of your head, have any type of, I don't know his policies? Come on, dude. Come on, man. That's insane. Same people who have animosity for Trump. Let me give you a rundown of how these conversations go. Hey, man, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. I just hate Trump. Why do you hate Trump? Because he did this. Well, can you give me an example? Well, you should know. I don't. This is why I'm asking. Well, you should Google it. Look, that makes no sense. If you have so much hate for this man, you should have a long list of all the shit you hate about him and what he's done memorized. So when someone like me comes across, you have that round in the chamber ready to be fired. Not telling me to Google it. That doesn't help anybody. But of course, a majority of people were just showing me Biden's website, which is seriously, have you maybe tried joebiden.com? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. No shit. Of course I have. This isn't the point of this tweet. There's two reasons why I did this tweet that I really wanted to prove. Reason number one was to prove that none of Joe Biden's supporters knew what Joe Biden's policies were. So everybody who posted Joe Biden's website into this thread just told me right off the bat they didn't know his policies. Simple. I mean, you could have just came out and said, I don't know his policies, but maybe we can go over them together and find out, right? Honest question. Seriously, I wasn't trying to be a dick. Honest question. But all of them, I think, big ass echo chamber. You could have Googled it. Google's easy. You have a smartphone. You tweeted this. Why don't you go Google? You got to just fall right into my trap. Number two, another reason why I did this was to genuinely interact with somebody who was for Biden and his policies, to have a simple, civilized discussion and a nice little debate, going back and forth about Biden's policies, maybe comparing them to Trump, having a civilized political debate. That's so much I asked for. But you see, the left don't like to talk. Along with people giving me Joe Biden's website today, there was tons of people just throwing insults. Oh, you dummy. Oh, you're a Trump supporter, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you should have did this, you should have did that. Trump did blah, blah. Along with that, there was other just fucking out of control Trump derangement syndrome people just throwing insults at Trump. When the question wasn't even directed towards Trump, it was directed towards Biden. Nowhere in this question does it say, what are Donald Trump's policies? But people were giving me his policies. Like, I don't know Donald Trump's policies. No, I'm asking for Joe Biden's, but you people hate this motherfucker so much that you just want to go ahead and just express to me how much you hate him. But that's not the question. The question is, what is Joe Biden's policies? That is a simple, down-to-earth question. No one can answer it except for one man who I'm not going to name on this video. If you guys want to see the screenshot, please refer to my Twitter. I have it there. One man who actually engaged with me for the remainder of the day on some pretty interesting ideas that Joe Biden was trying to implement and going back and forth on things that we agree with, things that we didn't agree with. One man out of damn near 150 comments was one person who decided to interact with me and have a debate and a conversation about Joe Biden's policies. That's insane. That's fucking insane. If you don't believe the political and civil discourse that we're going in right now, just keep in mind that nobody wants to fucking talk. Not a soul, all right? So as a special treat to me, to you, I'm going to go through all the tweets that made absolutely no sense in this tweet, in this whole thread, and I hope you guys do get a kick out of it as much as I did. So, oh boy, it is actually going to be really fun. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start with, this tweet is actually, okay, so a little context behind this tweet. Someone asked me what Donald Trump's policies were, and I gave him the whole list: bringing jobs back, closing the border, making the border more secure, booming the economy, bringing jobs, all that stuff. I brought it back. This guy was saying, so you're saying that your artistry and YouTube videos was blessed by the tariffs that Trump clearly don't understand? I am going to need some receipts, clown. Okay, so I guess what this guy is trying to say is that he thinks that my full-time job is making YouTube videos and drawing comics. Nah, that's... Unlike you, Mr. Beanie wearing Sal Russell, I have a day job that I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day to get ready for. And I go there for 10, 12 hours a day, and I come home and I do other work. So I probably put in more hours in you working than you probably do sleeping. So thank you. Next one. I believe one of his policies is to give a shit about the people of America. Totally opposite to Trump's policies. That doesn't answer the question. This is complete Trump derangement syndrome right here. and not to mention completely subjective. I mean, you didn't even answer the question. You're just explaining to me how much you hate Trump, and it's pretty wild. Yes, we understand Orange Man bad, but I mean, you could have at least answered the question thoroughly. That would have helped a lot. What's Trump's policy? What does he want to accomplish in his next term? What's his agenda? How will he fix the economy and fight this pandemic? Nothing. His agenda is to stay out of jail. He don't give a damn about you. Okay, Ms. Woke Black Woman. Check it out. If you're going to ask a question, especially 4 questions, you might want to leave some room for me to, answer them, because I could have answered all of these. What's Trump's policy? I can tell you. What's he planning to accomplish in the next term? I can tell you that too. What's his agenda? I can totally tell you that. How will he fix the economy and fight this pandemic? No one knows that answer. I think that's the only one that I don't know. No one knows what to do during this pandemic, so I don't know. Hopefully, Slow Crazy Joe, if he gets elected, has a plan to implement, because not even the experts know what to do. But, next time when you ask a question, maybe let the person you're asking it to answer the question. That would be smart. If you really cared, oh my God, this one was a doozy. If you really cared, you would do your own research, starting with his own official campaign website. See, people ask me that, do your own research. Yeah, but I'm asking you. Biden's supposed to be your guy, so you would know what his policies were. I mean, that would make sense to me. That would make 100% sense to me. There's only a few people in this thread who actually gave me legit answers. 3 out of 150 comments. Insane. Anyways, if you really cared, you would do your own research, starting with his official campaign website. You have all the world's information at your fingertips, and you look to Twitter for answers. Yeah, social media. You are not looking for a conversation, you are looking for a debate. What's wrong with looking for a debate? That's usually how you kind of solve problems and issues and exchange and discuss ideas. That's what social media does. Now, if people actually reciprocated on having a conversation, we could probably get somewhere. But, the left don't understand how conversation works. Are you surprised? I'm not. It's the same guy. This isn't about policy. It's about getting Trump out of office, and that may sound misguided to you, but he has ripped your country apart. Okay, so just from that, I can already tell this person is not from America, but, Russian interference. It's always been about himself his entire life, never wrong, never sympathetic, never gonna change. America's dying under Trump. Wake up. Okay, so this isn't about policy. That kind of is a red flag to me, because if you vote in somebody and it's not about their policies, then that's very dangerous, because you can say that it's not about Hitler's policies, we're just going to vote him in office. No, that's very dangerous. You might want to know about the policies of the individual you're voting for, because you might vote a fucking psychopath into the office and you gave him all the power to do whatever the fuck he wants. It's always about policies. This is why I asked the question, what about Joe Biden's policies? Does anyone know? No one seems to know. Moving on. This is insane, people. I really don't understand. Here we go. Another one. I mean, you can read a little. This literally took less than 20 seconds to find. Yeah, I know. Again, I completely know how to Google, but again, this is your guy. You should be able to tell me off the top of your head what his policies are. Trump supporters can't read. And we begin with the insults. If Trump supporters can't read, why would you waste your time to fucking write that tweet? I thought I can't read, but you're going to read to me that I can't read. So hypocritical. Oh my God, these people are just insane. All right, Rational Rick, you're not getting it, man. I couldn't care less about Hillary. Wow. That says a lot about you, buddy. Her husband is now being investigated. Well, I hope he's being investigated for joining Epstein on his private island and pedophile stuff. But no, you don't care about Hillary. No, absolutely not. I don't think it happened. It simply did, and it still is. Okay, so this dude is talking about the fucking Russian interference that we spent 2 years investigating and nothing turned up. So people actually still believe that Russia interfered in 2016 instead of just realizing that Hillary was a shitty candidate. Wow. Talk about denial. And these people are worried that Trump isn't going to leave office if he's not reelected? Really? Wow. It's well established and indisputable. You can click the link and read about it, or you can stay in Fantasyland and continue to be methodologically influenced. Okay, so the link that he sent me was completely and utterly subjective and anecdotal. There's an article that really suggests that people believe that Russia interfered in the 2016 election. After 2 years of investigation, the Mueller report was released. We all read it, and nothing came up. Again, what's going on here? I really don't understand why we're going back in time to something that never happened. But, Orange Man bad. I know it can be hard for many Trumpies, but just go use your Google machine. Look up the Biden campaign website, and you can read many plans, policy, ideas, and platforms, etc., all for the reading. So, you know what I did? With the man I engage with on Twitter, where I've had a civil conversation with, I actually took a screenshot of that entire thread, posted it up, and said, hey guys, this is exactly what a conversation is supposed to look like. I posted this thread to show people, I'm sorry, I asked this question to engage with people who might have different opinions than me. And I just copied and pasted the link to that tweet and retweeted it to other people with this kind of tweet. It was like, we use Google. No shit, Sherlock. We all use Google. That wasn't my intention. I wanted to know what Joe Biden's followers thought about his policies and if they knew what his policies were. Read the fucking question. I don't need Wikipedia and Google and all this other shit to tell me what Joe Biden's policies are. If this is your guy, you should be able to tell me like that. The case closed. Simple. But you can't. You can't tell me his policies. Why? Because you people don't know. You can go ahead and post up his fucking campaign website all you want. You still have not answered my question with your words. Giving me an article or website to go visit to answer my own question is not how you have a conversation. It's not how this works. If this is your guy and you want Trump out of office, you need to dictate to me and tell me what Joe Biden's policies is. Anybody who asks you what are Joe Biden's policies, they need to tell you what they are, not redirect you to some stupid dumbass website. We can all do that, folks. That's not the point of this exercise. It's to engage in conversation and to see if people actually know what Joe Biden's policies are instead of get Trump out of the White House. Shit makes no sense. Have you tried, looking it up, or are you just too stupid to do it yourself? Yeah. I'm just too stupid to do it myself, I pay $100 and something on my phone bill every month, and I'm just too stupid to use it. Spare me. If his policy was spaghetti, for all it would be better than Trump. For all we know that Joe Biden's policies is spaghetti. It's probably the best recipe for spaghetti I have ever tried before in my life. Why? Because no one fucking knows Joe Biden's policies. For all we know, it could be that. Dumb. You asked a question regarding Biden's policies that are easily found. Either you wanted to start a debate, or you're ignorant of how the internet works, or did not learn how to use basic research. So which is it? Usually people don't start a conversation by demanding their audience. Yeah, they do. That's how conversations work. You ask a question, people respond with an answer, and then I respond with an answer, and then you respond back, and then we go back and forth. That's how conversations work. I don't know how they work in your land, but conversations work like that. Again, in case you missed it, Mr. The Ant Farm, conversations work by starting with a question. Hey, what did you think about this? That person will, again, reply with their opinion and or answer. And then I will reply with my own opinions and or answer. And then we go back and forth. That's how that works. God. Keep in mind, most of these people are fucking adults, if not all of them. They're adults. They're grown adults who pay taxes. And this is the kind of shit that we got. Holy fuck. He doesn't even need a policy. He's not Trump, and that's all the country needs. This is how you just put in a psychopath into the office. This is how this happens. This is how that... I don't even know how to reply to this. Like, he doesn't even need a policy. Yeah, he does. Otherwise, what's he running on? What's his platform? What is he doing? He's not Trump, and that's all that the country needs. No, Joe Biden's running for office. I need to know, what's his role on foreign policy? What does he plan on doing about the rest of the COVID pandemic? How does he plan on handling that? What about education? Is he funding education? Is he going to up taxes? Is he going to lower taxes? What is he going to do? So far, the only person that got back to me with a full list of Joe Biden's policies, I only agree with maybe two of those things, one of those being immigration reform and funding education. So making it easier for immigrants who come in from overseas to become citizens, because, I mean, like I said, America loves citizens. We all love immigrants. I'm sorry, not citizens. We all love immigrants. Come here, do it right. We're welcome to have you. We're more than happy to have you. Another one would be funding education. But that kind of defeats the narrative, because you want to fund education, yet you kind of don't want to reopen school in the fall. So How does that work? Trying to have a conversation with the left is fucking nerve-wracking, and this is actually still going on my Twitter. If you guys want to kind of get in on that and kind of read the stuff for yourself, go ahead. I will post the link to the tweet in the description, so go check that out. It's absolutely remarkable how ignorant people are. You're just gonna vote, and I'm hearing this so much. Vote for the lesser of the two evils. Why do you know who's the lesser? Usually, you vote based on what policies you want to see implemented. I mean, people can sit here and say that Trump didn't do what he promised, but I can disagree and start listing off all the things that he did. He did secure the border. He did make immigration a little bit tighter. Before COVID, unemployment was down, jobs were back, the economy was booming. All of this, it happened. And then COVID hit. I mean, you can't really control that. But, the left just wants to make it seem like that Donald Trump was the reason COVID happened in the first place. Remember that the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, stated that COVID isn't anything to worry about because she wanted her city to have Chinese New Year and completely ignored COVID. Meanwhile, back in January, Donald Trump put in travel restrictions to kind of block people who were coming from other countries that were already infected with the virus. So again, he did what he could. Could he have done it better? Sure, of course. Anybody could have done it better, but every president has their problems. Every administration has run into a brick wall over something. Bush had 9/11. Obama had to fix the economy in 2008. Clinton, well, we all know what happened with Clinton, and so on and so forth. So don't, dump on Trump because he's has this whole entire worldwide pandemic that people are blaming him for because Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. All right, folks, a couple of updates really quick. I am working on my podcast, so just bear with me. I'm trying to get all those up. You'll soon be able to listen to this in podcast form on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Number 2, if you watched my video on Jessica Dottie Whitaker, I'm still following that story. There hasn't been any updates on the person who was responsible for shooting her. If you're not familiar with that story, this is the girl who was murdered because she said all lives matter to a Black Lives Matter supporter, and they shot her. So I'm still following that story, trying to give you guys an update as I go. But so far, nothing has been, nothing has really updated itself. Just today, there has been new footage of George Floyd and how the whole altercation. There's been some body cam evidence released on the whole altercation, something that the media probably should have released back in May. So I really don't know what this means. I really don't know what this is going to do. The damage is already done, but I will go ahead and check that out for you guys and make a new video about it, kind of explaining what's going on and how that affects today. And after the riots, after Minneapolis has been destroyed, it really doesn't do anything for me, but maybe I'm missing something. So I'll look into it for you guys and do another video within a week. But until then, folks, I am Will at Heroic Studios. I hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you guys later on this week. And remember, make sure you vote red this November because we all need it. Freedom, baby. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys later.